In the kingdom of Uzara, nestled between lush mountains and wide rivers, the people prided themselves on their rich traditions. Uzara's prosperity was tied to an ancient custom, the blessing of virgins. It was said that every year, a virgin from the land would walk to the sacred shrine of Oja, the goddess of fertility, and offer herself in a ritual of purity. This act kept the land fertile, the rain steady, and the crops bountiful. However, trouble brewed in Uzara. Rumors began to spread that the kingdom was losing its virgins, not to marriage, not to age, but to mysterious disappearances. The elders whispered of an ancient curse that was awakening, but no one dared to say it aloud. As the festival of Oja drew near, panic swept through the kingdom. For the first time in living memory, there was no virgin left to perform the ritual. Adan, the baker's daughter, was the latest girl to vanish. She had just celebrated her 15th year and was preparing for the ritual. Her disappearance sent shockwaves through Uzara. The townsfolk gathered in the market square to discuss the mystery. "The goddess will be angry if the ritual isn't performed," cried one elder. "The rains will stop, and famine will follow," muttered another. But amidst the chaos stood Eo, a young hunter known for his sharp mind and unyielding courage. Eo had loved Adan in secret and couldn't bear the thought of her gun. While others feared the curse, Eo was determined to uncover the truth. "I will find out what is happening to our girls," Eo declared. The crowd gasped. Only the elders and the king's warriors dared to meddle in matters of the gods. But Eo, with his bow slung across his shoulder, was resolute. Eo's investigation led him to the edge of the forbidden forest, a place whispered about in fear. The forest was said to be cursed, filled with spirits that preyed on the living. But Eo knew that the answer to the vanishing girls lay within its dark shadows. Armed with a charm given to him by his grandmother, Eo entered the forest. The trees loomed like giants, their branches clawing at the sky. Strange noises filled the air, whispers, laughter, and the occasional rustling of leaves. After hours of wandering, Eo stumbled upon an old hut hidden deep in the woods. Smoke curled from its chimney, and the faint sound of singing reached his ears. Inside, he found a woman with long, silver hair and eyes that seemed to glow in the dark. She introduced herself as Mama Neka, a guardian of the forest. "You seek the truth, young hunter," she said, her voice as smooth as flowing water. "But the truth comes at a price." Mama Neka revealed that an ancient spirit, Ezenwanyi, had awakened. Once a guardian of Uzara, Ezenwanyi had been betrayed by the kingdom centuries ago. In her anger, she cursed the land, vowing to take all the virgins until Uzara begged for her forgiveness. "But why now?" Eo asked. "The balance has been broken," Mama Neka replied. "The people have become greedy, forgetting the old ways. The gods are no longer honored as they once were." To save the land, Eo had to confront Ezenwanyi and plead for the release of the girls. Mama Neka gave him a gourd filled with sacred water, a weapon against the spirit's wrath. "Remember," she warned, "Ezenwanyi is not just angry, she is heartbroken. Approach her with courage and respect." Eo journeyed deeper into the forest, following Mama Neka's directions. He crossed rivers, climbed rocky hills, and faced spirits that tried to scare him away. Finally, he arrived at a massive cave, its entrance glowing with an eerie light. Inside, he found Ezenwanyi seated on a throne of bones. Her beauty was otherworldly, but her eyes burned with rage. "Why do you come here, mortal?" she demanded. Eo knelt before her and explained his mission. He told her of Uzara's plight and begged for the release of the girls. "You dare ask for mercy after what your people did to me?" Ezenwanyi thundered. She recounted her story. Centuries ago, she had blessed Uzara with fertility and prosperity. But the people grew arrogant, failing to honor their promises to her. When she demanded justice, they turned against her, banishing her spirit to the forbidden forest. Ezenwanyi offered Ao a deal. She would release the virgins if Uzara agreed to restore her shrine and honor her as their goddess once more. However, there was a catch. If your people fail me again, I will not only take the virgins but also curse the land with eternal drought, she warned. Ao agreed, knowing he had no other choice. Ezenwanyi handed him a golden feather, a symbol of their pact. With a wave of her hand, she released the missing girls, including Adan, who ran to Ao with tears of relief. Ao returned to Uzara as a hero, but his task was far from over. He told the king and the elders of Ezenwanyi's terms. Some resisted, unwilling to bow to a spirit they had once scorned. But Ao stood firm. We have no choice. If we do not honor Ezenwanyi, our land will perish. The people of Uzara eventually agreed. They rebuilt Ezenwanyi's shrine and held a grand festival in her honor. Virgins no longer needed to perform the annual ritual. Instead, the entire community came together to celebrate the goddess and thank her for her blessings. With time, Uzara flourished once more. The rains returned, the crops grew bountiful, and the girls walked the streets without fear. Ao and Adan married, becoming symbols of hope and unity in the kingdom. As for Ezenwanyi, she watched over Uzara from her forest throne, her heart no longer filled with anger but with cautious hope. The people never forgot the lesson they had learned, respect for the old ways and gratitude for the gift of the gods. And so, Uzara's legacy lived on, a tale told for generations to remind the people of the power of honor, love, and redemption. The story of Uzara and its pact with Ezenwanyi was passed down through generations. It became more than just a tale, it was a guiding principle for the people. Festivals dedicated to Ezenwanyi became the highlight of the year, with songs, dances, and feasts celebrating the unity of the land and its divine guardian. The shrine, now a magnificent structure adorned with gold and intricate carvings, became a center for learning and spiritual growth. Pilgrims traveled from faraway lands to seek the goddess's blessings, bringing with them gifts and tales of their own. However, the land was not without challenges. As the kingdom grew, new influences from traders and explorers threatened to erode its culture. The younger generation, eager to explore new ideas, often questioned the old ways. One fateful evening, a village elder named Chike had a vision during his prayers. In the vision, Ezenwanyi appeared, her expression grave. "The people forget too quickly," she said. "A time will come when Uzara must choose again, between greed and gratitude, between harmony and hubris. When that time comes, only one who carries my mark will guide them." Chike awoke with a start, clutching his staff tightly. He shared the vision with the council, but many dismissed it as the dream of an old man. Yet, in a small corner of Uzara, a child was born under extraordinary circumstances. Her name was Amara, and she bore a birthmark shaped like Ezenwanyi's golden feather on her shoulder. Amara grew up with stories of Ezenwanyi and the sacrifices of Ao and Adan. She was curious, always asking questions and wandering into the forest despite warnings. The villagers often whispered about her, wondering if she was the child of the prophecy. One day, while exploring the edge of the forbidden forest, Amara stumbled upon the very cave where Ezenwanyi had once dwelled. To her astonishment, she felt a warmth in the air, and the sound of a faint melody called to her. "You are brave to come here, child," a familiar voice echoed. Amara turned to see Ezenwanyi, radiant and serene. The goddess smiled, her eyes filled with recognition. "You carry my mark," she said. "And with it, my burden." Ezenwanyi revealed that Uzara's prosperity was once again at risk. Greedy merchants were exploiting the land's resources, and the people had begun to prioritize wealth over gratitude. The harmony between the kingdom and nature was unraveling. Ezenwanyi tasked Amara with a mission, to remind Uzara of its promise and restore balance. But this was no simple task. Amara, though young, had to confront powerful merchants, skeptical elders, and a divided community. Armed with the wisdom of the goddess and her own courage, Amara began her journey. She visited every corner of the kingdom, telling the story of Ezenwanyi and the sacrifices that had been made to protect Uzara. She spoke with farmers, traders, and artisans, urging them to embrace sustainable practices and honor the land. At first, many resisted. They saw no need to change, blinded by their own ambitions. But Amara's passion and the evidence of a changing land, wilting crops, drying rivers, eventually swayed them. Amara led a grand ceremony at the shrine, where the people of Uzara renewed their pact with Ezenwanyi. They promised to protect the land, respect the old ways, and teach future generations the importance of balance. Ezenwanyi appeared during the ceremony, her presence filling the air with a sense of peace. She placed her hand on Amara's shoulder, blessing her as the new guardian of Uzara's legacy. "You have done well, child," she said. "But remember, the journey of harmony is never-ending. Watch over this land, and guide its people with wisdom and compassion." Under Amara's leadership, Uzara flourished once more. The kingdom became a beacon of sustainability and cultural preservation. The festivals of Ezenwanyi grew even grander, drawing visitors from across the world who marveled at the unity of the people and their devotion to their goddess. Amara's name joined those of Eo and Adan in Uzara's legends, a reminder that even in the face of greed and division, the courage and wisdom of a single individual could bring a people back to their roots. And so, Uzara's tale continued, woven into the fabric of time, a timeless reminder that the balance between humanity and nature must always be nurtured, lest the goddess's wrath be awakened once more. Years passed, and Uzara thrived under Amara's leadership. The land's harmony was upheld through festivals, communal efforts, and respect for Ezenwanyi's pact. Amara grew from a curious child into a wise leader, her influence felt far beyond the kingdom's borders. Yet, the world around Uzara was changing. Foreign traders brought new ideas, weapons, and inventions. Along with their goods came stories of lands that had grown wealthy through conquest and exploitation. Some of Uzara's younger leaders began to question whether the kingdom could prosper further if it abandoned its old ways. "We are too tied to tradition," argued Ikin, a prominent merchant. "The world is moving forward while we cling to the past. Why should we limit ourselves when others are thriving without the burden of these gods?" Ikin's words found an audience among those who sought more power and wealth. A faction began to form, calling for modernization at any cost, even if it meant disregarding the pact with Ezenwanyi. Amara sensed the tension growing. She visited the shrine of Ezenwanyi to seek guidance. The goddess appeared, her expression troubled. "The winds of change are fierce, Amara," Ezenwanyi warned. "Your people stand at a crossroads. If they stray from their promises, the land will suffer, and my protection will wane." Amara knelt before the goddess, her heart heavy. "What must I do, my goddess? How can I lead them back to the path of harmony?" "You must remind them of what is at stake," Ezenwanyi said. "But know this, some lessons can only be learned through hardship. If the people choose greed, the balance will break, and they must face the consequences of their actions." The divide in Uzara grew wider. Ikin's faction gained influence, convincing others that the old ways were holding the kingdom back. They argued that the land could be exploited for greater wealth, that festivals were wasteful, and that Ezenwanyi's presence was a relic of a bygone era. Amara tried to mediate, organizing assemblies and debates. She reminded the people of the hardships their ancestors had endured and the sacrifices that had been made to restore balance. But her words were not enough to sway everyone. One night, a group of Ikin's followers defiled Ezenwanyi's shrine, tearing down its sacred carvings and scattering the offerings. They declared themselves free from the goddess's tyranny. The next morning, the skies darkened. Clouds gathered, but no rain fell. The rivers began to recede, and the crops withered. The people of Uzara realized too late that Ezenwanyi's warnings were coming true. Ezenwanyi's voice thundered across the land, carried by the howling winds. You have broken your promise. The balance is shattered, and the price must be paid. Famine and drought gripped Uzara. The once lush fields turned to dust, and the rivers dried up. Animals fled the barren lands, and trade with neighboring kingdoms dwindled. Ikin and his followers were the first to feel the consequences of their actions. Their wealth could not save them from the wrath of nature. Amara, though heartbroken, did not lose hope. She rallied the people who still believed in Ezenwanyi, organizing efforts to restore the shrine and appease the goddess. Together, they rebuilt the sacred site, carving new statues and planting trees around it. Ezenwanyi appeared once more, her form more formidable than ever. You seek forgiveness, she said, her voice cold. But forgiveness is not given lightly. If Uzara truly wishes to restore the balance, you must prove your devotion anew. The goddess demanded a year-long act of penance. The people were to work together to heal the land, planting trees, purifying the rivers, and sharing resources to survive. They were forbidden from exploiting the earth or hoarding wealth during this time. Amara led the charge, her resilience inspiring even those who had once doubted her. Ikin, humbled by the devastation he had caused, joined the efforts, offering his resources to help rebuild the kingdom. As the year passed, the land began to heal. The skies opened, bringing gentle rains that nourished the soil. The rivers flowed again, and the crops flourished. Ezenwanyi's wrath subsided, replaced by a sense of guarded approval. At the end of the year, the goddess appeared before the people, her form radiant and serene. You have proven your worth, she said. But remember, the balance is fragile. It is your responsibility to protect it, for yourselves and for future generations. Uzara emerged from the ordeal stronger and wiser. The people established new laws to protect the land, ensuring that no one could exploit its resources recklessly. The story of Amara and the trials of the kingdom became a sacred lesson, told at every festival to remind the people of the cost of greed and the power of unity. Amara lived the rest of her life as a revered leader, her name synonymous with wisdom and resilience. When she passed, the people of Uzara built a monument in her honor beside Ezenwanyi's shrine, symbolizing the bond between humanity and the divine. And so, the land of Uzara thrived, its people forever mindful of the goddess's words, harmony is not a gift, it is a choice, made every day with love and respect.